Think about the last person who hurt you. Really think about them, not just their name. Think about how it felt to be around them, the specific pull, that particular kind of electricity that made you feel both seen and unsettled at the same time. Now think about the person before that, and the one before that. Different faces, different cities maybe, different reasons you told yourself it ended. But the feeling, that specific tension in your chest, that was familiar, wasn't it? This isn't about bad luck. It never was. What's happening to you has a name. It has a mechanism. And once you understand it, truly understand it, you'll never be able to unsee it. That's what we're doing today. Your brain is not romantic. It doesn't fall in love with people. It falls in love with patterns. When neuroscientists study attraction, real attraction, the kind that makes you lose sleep, they don't find poetry. They find neural pathways, grooves in the brain, worn deep through repetition, that light up when something familiar enters the room. Here's the uncomfortable truth about familiarity. Your brain cannot tell the difference between familiar and safe. It treats them as the same signal, the same chemical response, the same green light. So when you meet someone who makes you feel a certain way, that rush, that pull, that sense that this person just gets you, your brain isn't saying, this person is good for you. It's saying, I have been here before. And being here before, regardless of what here was like, feels like recognition. And recognition feels like home. The question is, what kind of home did you grow up in? In the 1950s, a psychiatrist named John Bowlby began studying something that seemed obvious but had never been properly examined: how early relationships shape the way we attach to people for the rest of our lives. He called it attachment theory, and what he found was both simple and devastating. As children, we don't get to choose how we're loved. We receive whatever version of love the adults around us were capable of giving. And our nervous system, that extraordinary, primitive system, takes careful notes. If love was consistent and warm, the nervous system learns people are safe. If love was unpredictable, present and then absent, tender and then cold, the nervous system learns something different. It learns love requires vigilance. Love is something you have to earn, and you might lose it at any moment. That second template, anxious attachment, is extraordinarily common. And it doesn't disappear when you turn 18. It moves with you into every relationship, every apartment, every first date where you found yourself already wondering, are they going to leave? The person who grew up with inconsistent love learns to read emotional unavailability as depth, distance as mystery, hot and cold as passion. They don't choose emotionally unavailable partners because they don't know better. They choose them because it feels exactly like the love they spent their childhood trying to earn. Sigmund Freud noticed something strange in his patients. They kept recreating painful situations, not because they enjoyed suffering, but as if they were trying, unconsciously, to finally get a different outcome. He called it repetition compulsion, the drive to repeat unresolved emotional experiences, to go back to the wound, in the hope of finally healing it this time. Decades later, trauma researcher Bessel Kolk would describe the same phenomenon with more precision. The body, he said, doesn't forget. It stores the emotional memory of early relationships, not as thoughts, but as physical states. Tension in the chest, a particular kind of anxiety in the stomach, a specific quality of alertness that arrives around certain kinds of people. So here's what's actually happening when you choose someone who isn't good for you. It isn't weakness. It isn't low self-worth, though that can certainly be part of it. It's your nervous system recognizing a familiar emotional landscape and interpreting that familiarity as rightness. This feels real, your body says. This feels like something I know. And underneath all of that, buried beneath the attraction and the chemistry and the hope, is an old, unspoken belief. If I can just make this person love me, truly love me, then maybe I'll finally know that I was worth loving all along. That's the loop, and it runs quietly, in the background, until something makes you look directly at it. I want to be honest with you about something, because you came here for honesty, not comfort. There is no simple fix for this. There's no list of green flags to memorize, no algorithm for choosing the right person, because the problem was never that you didn't know what was good for you. On some level, you probably did. The problem is that good felt wrong, calm felt boring, consistent felt suffocating. Someone treating you well with no drama and no uncertainty felt somehow less real than what you were used to. What actually helps, and this is slow, unglamorous work, is learning to tolerate a different kind of feeling. To sit with the discomfort of someone who is simply, quietly, consistently there for you, without the adrenaline, without the chase. Psychologists call the outcome of this work earned security. It's not the security you were given as a child. It's the security you build through experience, through therapy, through the slow accumulation of relationships where you were actually safe. The nervous system can change, not quickly, not linearly, but it can. You are not sentenced to repeat. You didn't choose wrong because something is broken in you. You chose what felt real, what felt like something worth fighting for. And underneath that, what felt like proof that you mattered. That's not a flaw. That's a very human attempt to resolve something that was never your fault to begin with. The pattern doesn't end the night you understand it. But something shifts. A small gap opens between the impulse and the action, and in that gap, there is room to choose differently. Next time, we're going to look at the 3 attachment styles in detail, not the theory, the conversations, the texts you didn't send, the ones you did. I'll see you then.